and welcome to your first tutorial of the Roblox exploiting series. I'm Litex and I'm going to be teaching you how to make your own scripts to cheat inside the Roblox games. The first part and the most important thing to learn is the basics of the game, okay? Every game is done through Roblox Studio and we need to learn how it works in order to reverse it and create a script. The first thing that we are going to find inside our studio are going to be these two tabs that are the Explorer and the Properties. Okay? The Explorer holds all the services that we have to make our game, to store things and everything else, and the properties are the properties, as itself explained. It holds all the values and all the variables that we are going to be able to change, for example the size, the position and everything else. Okay? Inside the Explorer we can find firstly the workspace. The workspace is what the player sees. Okay? If we load inside the game we are going to find only a base plate that is located under the workspace. We can also see our player, so we have here all our parts, all the parts of our character. You see, if we remove the pants, for example, now we are naked. So, in the workspace, usually the developers place the models, the terrain, the map, everything that you are going to interact. Okay, the camera, the terrain, and nothing else, because we have nothing else inside. Okay, the camera is basically where we see, like our point of view. Okay, we can modify it, for example, to clip through a wall, or in this case we can maybe add a part. Okay, let's add a part, and as you can see we can create a script that will attach the camera to the part and yeah, basically made us see through here. This is basically used in loading screens and in animations, but it is not important right now. So then we have the terrain. Okay, the terrain is basically the mountains that you see that are green, the sun and all these things. Not important for this tutorial. Okay, then we have the players. The players is like a folder where all the players that are inside the game are going to stay. If we join our game, you are going to see that inside players there is our character with our backpack, starter gear, GUI and scripts. Inside the backpack we are going to have our inventory, the one that we can see here. Inside starter gear are the tools that we are going to get once we join. And player GUI and player scripts are like folders that are going to hold the main shit that we are going to be talking about in this video, okay? Inside player GUI we're going to have the interface. So for example, if we add a GUI, the screen GUI that is like the container for it, and inside the screen GUI we add a frame, we're going to see that a frame appears. Oh, it's not allowing me to move it. But yeah, okay. But yeah, basically this is how UIs work inside Roblox. There are only parts, above parts, with buttons and all like this. Okay. Then we have the lighting. The lighting is basically a filter for the camera. If we add, for example, a blur effect, the screen is going to turn blurry and we are not going to be able to see nothing. If we increment it or decrease it, this is going to change the way we see the world. Let's say, for example, you are playing a game that has this blur effect when they attack you. You can make a script to delete inside your client the blur effect, and you are going to be able to see like this, even though you are being attacked. Then we have the material service. The material service is not going to be used. I don't know how it works, and I never used it. So we are going to the real shit again. Okay. The real sheet is consisted of replicated first, replicated storage, server script service and server storage. These two are basically the same. The only thing that changes is when it loads. Replicated storage is like a box. Okay, it is a shared box between server and your client. So for example, if you want to store here a model of a boat for your fishing game, it will not appear inside the workspace. Okay, if we add, for example, our boat. Okay, this is our boat. We're going to rename it to boat. As you can see, there is nothing here. It is empty because it is not inside the workspace. So if we want to put it inside the workspace, we have to clone it and create it through our client. We will see how to do it later. Then the replicated first is basically like the replicated storage, but a little bit smaller because it is going to hold the first thing that the player is going to see. For example, let's say you have a loading screen and it has a scroll bar. Everything related to it is going to be loaded from replicated first to avoid, for example, the player seeing the wall before the loading screen. Then in server script service and server storage, we are going to hold the variables that the player is not going to see. So as exploiters, if the code is inside the server, we are not going to be able to interfere with it. For example, if they have a wheel that you are going to spin to get a prize, and the script is inside the server script service, you are not going to be able to use exploit to win whatever you want. Because Roblox works this way, okay? I don't know if I can... This is your client, okay? This is your computer, this is where you play, and this is the Roblox server, okay? Your client is going to send your data to the server, and the server is going to update, for example, the computer of the kid that is stealing your things in your game, okay? So for example, let's imagine you are here in your base plate. If you press the W key, your player is going to move this way. If you end up here, your client is going to send the data to the server and is going to say, hey, my player is now in these coordinates, and the server is going to update every client to show your player in the coordinates that you set. So let's erase all this shit. So lastly, we have our starter GUI, our starter pack, starter player, and themes. These are folders that Roblox is going to use to store our scripts, our user interface, and the themes. Okay. The starter GUI is going to hold the templates that you are going to load whenever you join the game. So for example, if we have here our GUI that we explained before and we wanted to interfere with it, we are going to head over to players, and once we are inside the game, we are going to see that the UI is loaded under the player tab, under the player GUI. If we want, for example, to, I don't know, see different options that we have logged with a script, we are going to interact with them inside here. Then we have the starter pack that is going to hold our tools, like for example the, I don't know, the shovel that you get inside your inventory once you join the game. And lastly, we are going to have the starter player that has two folders for the same thing. Apparently, we have starter character scripts and starter player scripts. The main difference between these two are that starter player scripts are going to load only when you join. So for example, if you have a tool that is going to load the data from your server, we are going to put it here. And if we have the starter character scripts, it is going to load every time we reset the character. If you, for example, have a ray gun that you want to give players every time they die to start playing the game, you need to put a script inside here. All this is going to be handled inside player scripts. They are going to be loaded inside here. And that pretty much covers all the Explorer tab. Now we can explain shortly the properties. which, as I said at the start of the tutorial, we are going to be interfering with them whenever we, for example, are inside a game making our script. Let's say, for example, we have a part here. Okay, this part is our wall. If we want to make a there we go. If we want to go through it, we need to make the character able to go through it. Okay, this is done by disable the can collide option. Here in Studio it's easy, but when we are inside the game, we are going to use a script. As you can see now, we are not able to go through. But if we disable this, okay. Now, if we disable the can collide part, we forgot to anchor it, we are going to be able to go through it, just like Noclip works inside the game. Okay, and that pretty much covers all related to the game structure that we need to understand in order to make our own script inside the game. So I see you in the next video that will start explaining how code works, and we will make our first script for an old game for it to be easy for you to follow and easy to understand. See you guys in the next one.